Stadium Stampede is not very good. If you thought we were getting a wrestling game mode, you'd be sorely mistaken. What is up, zombies and ghouls? Spaced here, coming at you with a review of AEW Fight Forever Stadium Stampede. I would chalk this one up as all hype, no delivery. Stadium Stampede is one of the jankiest, most bare bones excuse of a wrestling mode that I've seen in recent years. In this video, we're gonna get into all the little dirty details of what's wrong with this mode, what they could do to improve this mode, and the state of AEW Fight Forever as a whole. So bust out your shovels and let's dig in. Stadium Stampede is something a lot of fans were asking for and really excited about. Unfortunately, what a large amount of us wanted isn't actually what we got. When you think of AEW Stampede, you probably think of the 5 vs 5, no holds barred, anything goes match that takes place in a stadium, right? Me too. For whatever reason, AEW Games and Ukes thought it would be a good idea to take Stadium Stampede match and turn it into a solos battle royale mode. Something that nobody ever asked for. In fact, a game titled Rumbleverse tried to do this exact thing, except in contrast to AEW Fight Forever, their execution was done extremely well. Many of you have probably never even heard of Rumbleverse, being that it was an Epic Games Store exclusive if you're on PC, and if you're not a wrestling fan, most people probably never even checked it out, even though the game was really good. It just never got the footing to actually take off. Could have been due to the lack of licensed characters or the falling popularity of battle royales. That's something we can cover in a later video. As for Stadium Stampede, I think I figured out the reason why a lot of us don't like it and may even consider it bad. Before anybody says anything down in the comments, let me just say, I don't have a problem with you liking this mode. I'm happy for you. That's awesome. If you like it, great. I personally don't care for it, and I know a large amount of the community also doesn't like it. Here's the reasons why. It feels like a mini game. There's nothing about this mode that was carried in from the core game aside from finishers and basic attacks. Look at these controls. No matter what character you play as, you are restricted to 3 classes: Balanced, High Flyer, or Power. These classes all have the same moves as others in the same class, and as far as I can tell, every character has a scoop slam no matter what class you choose. You can get more moves if you set those abilities in the skill tree here. Likewise, for every character, they will carry over if you run the same ability loadout. These abilities are activated by gathering chips to raise your heat level. Remind you of the minigames yet? Most players will camp the slot machines to raise their heat in a hurry, putting them at a big advantage, mainly in regards to being able to spam moves, which leads us into our next issue. Just like any other battle royale, the goal is to be the last person standing. That's all fine and dandy if there's even a minuscule amount of skill involved. The problem is here there isn't. Stadium Stampede at the time of making this video is filled with people abusing the broken mechanics just like they do in the ranked online modes. At least so I've heard. I still can't get into a casual lobby, let alone a ranked one in the base game. You know what they say though, right? If you can't beat them, join them. Well, here's how you join them. Just set your abilities up for combo strikes or for high flying moves and you can spam that into oblivion. If that doesn't work, the old run in circles to tackle will suffice. That's the meta of this game. You spam the same crappy moves over and over until you get the finisher to KO people. You can also use weapons, but most of them are worthless. Because like I said, you can just run away to spam moves, whether it be diving or the tackle attacks. There is a guarding ability for the diving attacks that are allegedly working against the basic attacks as well. However, being that I couldn't even get it to work against the diving attacks, I can't comment on it. It shows up in the ability tree, but I can't get it to work. You have your normal battle royale mechanics, where you have stuff to restore health, a method of restoring armor, and then you have loot. This can range from health pickups to golden weapons like the t-shirt launcher or the barbed wire baseball bat. Most matches I tried to play were laggy as all hell. Presumably this is because the networking is running peer-to-peer like the core game matchmaking does. The golf cart was pretty much unusable. Steers like a boulder stuck in the mud, and the animations of the wheels turning are hilariously poor quality. Remember how I said it was solos earlier? That means there's no options to play with friends. The party system doesn't function in Stadium Stampede mode. There might be a way around that though, which ties into our next predicament. The state of the game. With pretty much any mode, you'll either be met with dreaded unable to find match, or where Stadium Stampede is concerned, the match will be filled with bots. So the way around not having a party system with the Stadium Stampede mode is just queuing up for a match at the same time as the person you wish to play with. 9 times out of 10 you'll get into the same lobby. This goes for every platform and pretty much every mode. On PC, we're looking at this many concurrent players as of today. Nintendo Switch, according to this statement from Zitty, the community manager of THQ Nordic, is 15% of the player base. As for Xbox, it's not on the top 50 most played games page, which is the only metric we have to go off of, putting its player count at less than Call of Duty Black Ops 2, which came out in 2012. Then comes PlayStation, which is allegedly the most popular platform for the game, as mentioned by Zitty here. When it comes to all of this, what does it actually mean though? Well, by process of deductive reasoning, we have to assume that if PC lost 90% or more of their concurrent players, the other platforms did as well. If Zitty's rough estimate of the player base split is accurate and PC only makes up 1% of the player base, that would put us at around 220,000 players across all platforms. That would be at launch or shortly thereafter, which leaves us at approximately 10% of the remaining player base after drop-off, which sets us at around 22,000 players. 22,000 players split between PC, Switch, Xbox, and PlayStation. That's a very generous estimate. I have a feeling the real numbers are much lower. It really saddens me that they went this way with Stadium Stampede. I can't speak for everyone, but at the very least, I would say that it would have been awesome for them to allow us to actually run in controlled directions instead of being locked into one direction. That way, they could have kept the core game controls and had the match be more like the real-life counterpart. I hope that the folks over at Ukes and AEW Games have some better stuff up their sleeve, because this seemed like the absolute worst hand to draw. Let's go for double or nothing. If wrestling games aren't your jam, give this one a try, especially if you're into first-person shooters. What do you think of Stadium Stampede? Did you like it? Did you hate it? Were you able to ride the horse? I couldn't get it to work. It kept bugging out for me. Let me know down in the comments. Until the next one, just remember, don't get bit. Peace.